What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and starting the day with kind of a heavy story, but one that I think is important, one that I think is very concerning. There seems to be a trend. Now, sometimes trends are artificial. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, the media just happens to start reporting on something more often. I don't know. I'd have to see long-term statistics on these planes, for example, for Boeing. How often are a cracked windshield? How often does that even happen? I bet you it happens more than you'd think. But now, because of everybody's reporting on every possible thing going on with planes, it's front page news and everybody's freaking out. But this particular trend, I don't believe is manufactured, and I do believe that it is the direct result of mainstream media. We have now the FBI arresting. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The FBI actually did it. Leave a like on the video if you're surprised that the FBI arrested this person and didn't just let them go about their way to do their thing. I suppose there may have not been any major news story that they needed to, divert attention from. I mean, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't know. It's just many people have that belief that these people, every time something happens, within hours, we get the same article. They were known to the FBI. They were known to this or that. We know just, what happened in Iowa. Do you remember that? It was only a week or two ago. Is anybody even talking about it anymore? Nah. We had a issue, obviously, most people were concerned with, was that the right-wing Musk and far-right figures seize on Iowa losers' possible identity. Well, if they were MAGA, okay, we know that would be all over the news. Go back to Nashville. Not that long ago. Same identity. And I believe you have a situation where, and then that's not the only one, there's several others in a row here. I think the only exception is the guy in Louisville, I think. Otherwise, it was basically like the same group of people over and over again. And I believe that this is the direct result of the media's rhetoric, people like AOC's rhetoric, activist rhetoric, that they're coming for you and that you have to defend yourself because they don't want you to exist, which is absurd. FBI has arrested trans man who made threats to go after phobes and now suggests ties to alt-right. What? Huh? Federal prosecutors on Friday charged an Oregon man who believes he is a woman for posting to a trans support group that he planned on going out in a blaze of glory. After search of the home found 27 guns and tens of thousands of rounds of ammo. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with owning a large stash. That's your right as an American. You can own all the ammo that you want. I don't think, that's not a crime. And I think, it's interesting to have. That's a decent stash. I mean, that's impressive. But again, nothing illegal about that. Elizabeth West was charged with making interstate threats based on the Facebook post support group Trans Women. By the way, this was a charge filed in Oregon, so they'll be right back out. Now, this is always a slippery slope, right? We saw this with the Iowa case where there were people in the comment thread, that loser in Iowa that did this, posted, and then like people were like, yeah, take out as many as you can, or I'm going to do the same thing. It's like a thought crime. We're getting close to that, like Minority Report. What do you do with these people when they tell you they're going to do something insane? How do you react to that? Do you allow to disarm them? Well, it's not an easy answer, because if you're getting into the red flag laws thing where we know our government will just use that however they see fit. You can't have that because it will be abused. Oh, you voted for Trump? Ooh, I don't know. Probably put you on a list. Oh, you said 1776 will come again? Oop, we got to take your weapons. Red flag laws. It is a tough problem. Quote, I'm too old to keep looking for jobs, and I've had it up to here being bullied by phobic a-holes. I'm left with no alternative, West wrote, according to the court documents. I've been preparing for this moment for a long time. At least then I'll be remembered. I have no family, no friends. So is there any point in living anymore? Obviously, the mental health issues in this community are something that you're not allowed to bring up. I think that most people are probably trans for a reason. They've had some sort of trauma. I mean, this is not speculating. This is scientific fact as far as I know. And you know, it's also other spots in the LGBTQ community as well. The FBI did not arrest the individual after the September interview. So they posted this stuff. Again, I'm not sure what the charges would have been. This is insane. They refused to arrest him at the time. Again, I'm not sure what the charges would have been. Instead, months later, after checks of his social media exhibited negative comments towards black people, immigrants, and Jewish people, then they arrested him. So straight white people, go ahead and mow him down. That's how I read that. Isn't that how you read that? And then it was the same charge. The same charge they could have used before. His animosity towards other races appear to be heavily related to West's gender ideology. West's hatred of black people, it said in court documents, is because they often misgender him, and a group of black men once put their hands on him. For immigrants, the hatred was because he learned of an immigrant on Oregon's public health care plan who got free trans surgery. Ha ha ha, taxpayers paid for that, while West would have to pay for his own gender surgery. Wow. They took our jerk. They took my gash. They took my gash. They took my open wound. So I want to repeat that. The FBI did not arrest this individual when he made these claims about just people in general. It was not until he said anything about black people and immigrants, then they arrested him. For months, the FBI monitored his social media and questioned him about his racial views. On January 9th, after agents monitoring him were alerted of another weapons purchase, it executed a search warrant and arrested West. The affidavit reads, far-right terror, white supremacy, and alt-right extremism. You know a lot of trans people who are alt-right? Portraying the madman as a conservative. The FBI at that point called him pretending to work for the electric company, company to get a confirmation of an address, then subpoenaed Twitter formally for confirmation that it was his account. Even though the affidavit did not allege that any of these race-related posts were crimes, in the end, the justification it used to charge him was the transgenderism-fueled Facebook post from months earlier. I believe there is probable cause to believe West's original Facebook post constitutes an interstate threat, especially based on an accompanying photograph of the firearms. Additionally, a large amount of the weapons and ammo recovered from her residence, they use the preferred pronouns, the FBI did, and subsequent Twitter posts indicate a willingness to elevate the original threat towards specific minority groups. The FBI agent Damara Gonzalez wrote. S.A. Gonzalez also located approximately 48 hand drawings of a superhero wielding a sword and doing terrible things, most of whom they referred to as the N-word. One image is titled that Miss Wolf to You, the man slayer queen of the underworld, the affidavit said. What you have here is just a lunatic who happens to be trans. Now, the last 4 or 5 lunatics also happen to be trans. The story here for me is they refused to arrest this lunatic until they made until they said something about immigrants. It's also a pattern of ignoring serious crimes. Oh, I'm sorry. The Daily Wire also reported late last year on terrible people that were doing terrible things when the FBI arrested a certain person. You know, the FBI has a pattern of ignoring serious crimes unless or until there was an anti-conservative angle. A man brought the FBI evidence of terrible behavior by Satanists, and they didn't care. In another week, the FBI explicitly decided to let a man try and do something terrible, who tried to do something terrible to a child, walk free so it could focus on J6, enabling him to go on and do it to another person. I mean, the FBI has been largely politicized, it would seem, and this is wild. I mean, they were going to let this person go do whatever they want, and it wasn't until they said something about immigrants or Jewish people, then they actually arrested them. I wonder how many people like this are being monitored by the FBI right now. You know, it's insane to me. I bet you the real number would be shocking. I hope you're informed by this video. Please, if you haven't yet, leave a like on it. And if you haven't, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.